Weighing in at over 40 stone, Sharon Mevsimler was extreme supermorbidly obese. Her addiction to food had left her a prisoner in her own home. Diets had failed, and gastric bypass surgery was her last chance to lose the weight that was slowly killing her. Two months after the operation, and already the change to Sharon's life is dramatic. She's lost a staggering 8 stone so far, and is out playing with her children for the first time in almost 10 years.
That's my exercise all the day.
It just feels brilliant because every summer has gone by, I just stared from the window and I couldn't go out there. Having my kids in the pool swimming with me, and it's like they've never ever remembered me being slim, and they're so happy that seeing the weight coming off and be able to be in the pool with them. And I just want to stay in there all the time because it's like feeling having water over me. It just feels brilliant. I just love swimming so much.
It feels really good that our mum could join in with the stuff that we do now. She's more happier. She could do a lot more things now.
Mum Anne is amazed at the change she's seen in her daughter.
I'm really proud of her. I mean, for the past 6-7 years, all we've seen her is just in that bed. I'm not moving around at all. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a shock right now.
That's fantastic.
It makes me happy to see her smiling.
That's great.
It hasn't been an easy journey for Sharon, and she still has a long way to go. She can no longer use food as a comfort, and she's finding it a difficult hurdle to overcome.
I used to use food all the time as a way to make me happy because that's the only thing that did make me happy at the time. And now I don't have that, so I've got to learn all over again on how to sort of cope without the food side of it. It's like being reborn, really. It's like learning everything all over again, and how to eat and how to control portion sizes. But it's something you sort of got to cope with because it's better to be healthy and to be slim, so it's worth it in the long run.
But despite her struggle, Sharon encourages the children to still eat in front of her.
Sometimes they have to ask me, is it okay, Mum, to eat like in front of you? I said, no, I don't mind, because now I've got used to it, and I know I would prefer this lifestyle any day than to be stuck in bed all the time.
Sharon still has an enormous amount of weight to lose, and she knows she'll need plastic surgery to remove all her loose skin.
Flab is sort of getting looser and it gets heavier as I walk, but I know that was going to happen, and it's worth going through that, and to be able to later on to have all that removed as well, and to be able to get into normal clothes and to be able to shop in normal shops, and I just can't wait. This is how I can tell I've lost 8 stones because of my nightdress, because I've got room on both sides of my nightdress. And it's like, I never imagined this would happen. And that's how I can tell I've lost a lot of weight. Because this is what I used to live in all the time and when I was my most. So it's got so baggy. And that's how it could fit another person, nearly. And that feels brilliant. Having the operation, I think it's the best thing I've ever done. And I don't have no regrets at all. It's worth it in the long run. It's all worth it.
But this was the last time Sharon was to go outside. Less than a year later, she was dead.
Hi Sharon, I've got you some nice pink roses today. It's not your favourite colour.
Mum Anne and son Emra visit her grave daily.
It gives you some kind of comfort if I come here. It's good. It's like a kind of a therapy. It relaxes us somehow.
So what went wrong? Sharon's family noticed her health deteriorate after she started to suffer excruciating pains in her arms and legs. Weeks later, she eventually lost all feeling in both.
She hated not being able to use her hands because she'd be on the computer all day. Even though she was in bed, she'd be on that computer. And that'd be her pastime, you know. She could do all her banking, whatever, pay her bills, you know, do the normal things what we take for granted. But when she lost the use of her hands, she had nothing left. She said, I don't mind my feet going and my legs. She said, but it's my hands. I need my hands.
Sharon was admitted to her local hospital, but according to her family, doctors couldn't explain the lack of movement in her limbs. She was transferred to a nursing home so she could receive 24-hour care.
Sharon was in a nursing home for 6 months. Not once did she go out of that room. So she was still a prisoner in her own bed, in her own room. All summer went and she didn't go out once. They promised her a wheelchair, which she eventually got. And when the wheelchair came, it was too big to go through the door. She was so happy when the wheelchair came that she thought, at last I can go out into the sunshine, but it's never to be.
While at the nursing home, Sharon ate very little, and she continued to lose weight. Although her family were desperately worried, Sharon was thrilled with the results.
She'd be, phone me up and say, Mum, I've lost this much, Mum, I've lost that much. But she'd be really on a high. When Sharon was turned 41, decided to have a nice cake made for her. I tried to put some in her mouth just to have a taste of it. She said later, but she never did.
Something seemed to be going seriously wrong with Sharon's eating habits.
We tried to feed her, but she just didn't, because I think in her mind she just wanted to lose it, and lose it quick, so she can get out there and enjoy her life.
I have no idea what went wrong. Don't know. She'd have her off days when she wouldn't want anything. She'd just want to sleep. Because she lacked energy, I guess. All she wanted to do was sleep. And to her, being asleep meant, she missed out on breakfast, missed out on lunch, and then the more weight she lost, the more happier she was, I guess.
So Sharon had gone from one extreme to the other, from overeating to starving herself.
Patients who need bariatric surgery have two aspects to their problem. Firstly, it's the dependence on food. The second thing is their mindset, their psychology that drives them to do this. The operation treats mostly the physical thing about eating food. It does help with the mindset, but patients will sometimes go too far the other way. They won't eat, they feel that food is the enemy now, and that armed with the operation, they will go on to develop illnesses associated with not eating. I think as time went on and Sharon's behaviour developed towards anorexia, she started to demonstrate symptoms that in retrospect really were signs of nutritional deficiencies, and that is loss of feeling in the fingertips, loss of ability to use her legs properly. And I think that whilst looking at her, you would think, how could she possibly be malnourished? In reality, she was lacking certain elements and vitamins that make the nerves work properly, that make the body function properly. Unfortunately, her reward was weight loss, and that was such a strong driver for her that she was going to lose enough weight to re-engage with her family, have a normal life, that she was prepared to put aside the risks of losing too much weight and being nutritionally deficient. And it's the failure to do that, I think, that led in no small part to the fact that she didn't make it.
6 months after being admitted to the nursing home, Sharon developed septicemia from bed sores. She was rushed to hospital, where she eventually slipped into a coma. She died 2 days later. Sharon's death certificate said she died of natural causes.
This is my favourite picture of Mum.
Yeah, this is the day she got engaged.
She looked beautiful.
Sharon's death was splashed across the tabloid press. They poured scorn on her obesity and accused her family of feeding her addiction. Still struggling to cope with their grief, these inaccurate and unsympathetic reports were hard for the family to bear.
They basically didn't give us time to grieve. We couldn't grieve, not whilst they was all at the door hounding us. paper said that we were bringing her food up into the ward. The only food we ever bought her was fruit, but she wasn't eating anything. So that's how wrong the newspapers got. What they didn't know is that she'd lost half of the weight, and she wasn't the fattest person in Britain. Yeah. She weighed 23.5 stones from being 42 stones, so you work it out how much she lost. Yeah.
Although they regret that Sharon was never able to experience the benefits of her weight loss, her family still believes she made the right decision in having bariatric surgery.
Sharon didn't regret having the operation. Never. I don't ever regret her having it done. Because she had lost a lot of weight. Good 15 stones, 20 stones. Yeah. It wasn't that killed her, it wasn't the operation.
I'm glad she had it because I got to see her lose the weight, and it's just a shame she couldn't live to enjoy it.
Emre will always be grateful to his mum for paying for him to have a gastric band fitted 2 years ago. Sharon didn't want obesity to devastate his life as it had hers.
She'll do anything for us, really. She paid for me to get my gastric band, and it's the best thing I've ever done. She's basically saved my life. It's a shame she didn't save hers.
Even right till the end. She was happy, she was always smiling. She's my best friend, my daughter. She was a joy for 41 years. And I shall miss her. Miss her loads.